Our own troops, in conjunction with civilian JTF, conducted clearance operation along Damasak-Gashiga Road. Now, the troops successfully cleared Duoma, Asaga, Gashiga, and other surrounding villages. And, well, of course, the troops, dislodged some Boko Haram terrorists that, were moving along that axis, perhaps wanting to exploit the border between Nigeria and Niger.
Members of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign are out again on the streets to call attention to what they call the increasing effect of bad governance and corruption in the country. Members of the group today continue their protest march from the Unity Fountain to the 3 armed zones in Abuja, saying issues of corruption and bad leadership are some of the reasons that led to the abduction and the non-release of the girls abducted in Chibok, Borno State. The group is also clamoring for better governance and improve of all office holders accused of corruption.
We are marching against corruption and bad governance. We all know the reason why our girls were taken was because of corruption and bad governance. And so when we said to the president, he should act now, we want more results. What we are saying, apart from bringing back our Chibok girls, is to act on corruption, is to act on bad governance. We want results. We want corruption that is holistically fought for. We want corruption in the last administration and corruption in this administration to be fought against. We would not stand it. Corruption we have seen, it doesn't know religion, it doesn't know region, it doesn't know tribe, it doesn't know gender, it doesn't know age. All it knows is to destroy a nation. And we are a nation that have been destroyed because we have allowed corruption to come in.
Early marriage and adolescent pregnancy have been identified as factors responsible for the high rate of maternal and child mortality in Nigeria and other developing countries. The UNFPA director will disclose this during an advocacy visit to the Kaduna State governor, also appeals for action to improve sexual and health education among adolescents.
According to the UNFPA, every day in developing countries, 20,000 girls under the age of 18 give birth. This comes to 7.3 million births a year. Back in Nigeria, a study revealed that 73% of girls between 13 and 19 years of age are married in northeastern and northwestern states of the country. This visit by UNFPA officials to Kaduna aims to assess progress in health outcomes and access to education for women and children.
The high population growth in Kaduna State is the result of several years of declining mortality.
The executive director of UNFPA, Professor Babatunde Oshotimehin, points out the pivotal role of education in the development of society.
You have to have girls being educated, stay in school until a point where they can determine their own.
Governor Nasiru El-Rufai says in spite of the state's efforts to help the girl child through expanded access to education and better health care, poverty still remains a challenge.
As you deploy your resources and your efforts to help Nigeria, bear in mind where the real problems are.
The UNFPA plans to tackle socio-economic challenges by protecting girls' rights, not just at the federal but at community levels.
We need to also put up a health system that can actually provide support.
If you can, in your community, make sure that schools are working, clinics are working. You can make sure that you do not marry your girls away at 9.
Studies have shown that apart from achieving the well-being of a child, education and poverty alleviation may reduce negative implications of adolescent pregnancy, such as school dropout rates and the incidence of sexually transmitted infections.
Well, the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun, is again emphasizing the readiness of the state to partner with well-meaning investors to improve the lot of the state and the welfare of its people. The governor today received the ambassador of the United States to Nigeria, Mr. Stuart Symington, who notes that the state has distinguished itself not only as the industrial capital of the country, but also as the first point of call for investors. A new report published by the World Health Organization and the U.S. National Cancer Institute says smoking costs the global economy more than $1 trillion a year, and that it will kill 1/3 more people by 2030 than it does now. That cost far outweighs global revenues from tobacco taxes, which the WHO estimated at about $269 billion in 2013 to 2014. The report adds that the economic costs are expected to continue to rise, and although governments have the tools to reduce tobacco use and associated deaths, most have fallen far short of using those tools effectively.
The report is important in at least two significant ways. It highlights that the economic cost of smoking is about more than $1 trillion every year, and it causes currently deaths of 6 million and is projected to increase to 8 million people by 2030. What is needed really is political will in order to implement these measures vigorously. Tobacco control not only saves lives, it generates substantial revenues as well. So it's a win-win situation. It is an addictive product, and as such, if it's addicting, the poor people tend to spend it to substitute other expenditures like education for a cheap smoke. So it's really important that governments take action now, because this monograph confirms what the WHO has always been saying, that tobacco control makes economic and public health sense.
Still to come on Network Africa, Zambia's military goes on a chemical offensive against gay maize-munching pest. Please stay with us.